Okay, year 11. I'm going to be producing a series of guides for you on the exam. The first one's going to be a bit long, but it's just going to explain to you about the exam process and to give you some hints and tips on how to prepare for this and get the best grade possible. Just so you know, a large amount of exam practice for this requires you to work independently without guidance from me. So what happens on the 7th of May, which is a Tuesday, is the pre-release material is provided from you for you from the exam board. On that day, the pre-release material will look something which is like this. This is the pre-release from last year, which was investigating TV crime dramas. So when you get your pre-release, it will say something at the top, and it'll say what this is. So for this one, it was a press release which has been emailed to local and national media companies inviting entries for a televised crime writing competition, saying it's a satellite and cable TV which specialises in broadcasting crime drama. And it gives you some information at the top. And basically, within the pre-release, it says to you various information about what it is they are actually exploring, or what they're looking for. And you can see that in this pre-release material here, we've got some information. We've got it's a competition. The deadline, the entries, the date is here. This is what they're looking for. Giving you some more information about the crime dramas and saying what promotional material they need. And basically what you'll do is you'll get a pre-release document like this. Now when that happens, formal teaching now stops. So we'll go through the pre-release document as a class, and after that I can't teach you anymore for the exam. And you're on your own to work on your own independent research and to work under your own steam to answer and find out the information that you'll need for the exam. So what I'm going to talk about is how you can actually succeed in doing this. Then the exam is on Thursday the 6th of June. So a few key things. When you get the pre-release material, you need to get a highlighter pen. You need to mark and highlight the various things in there to make so that you understand what you need to do and what you're looking for. All the key words. The next thing that you really need to do is you need to work independently. So you can't just rely on me to work and to give you the answers for this, because it doesn't work like that. I'm not allowed to. So you have to basically work independently and revise and look at the various elements of the media texts that are out there which will answer the question. A few other things that you must do when you're approaching this. Anything you write, you must write in role. Okay, so the whole point of the exam is it's telling you something like you are working for a company and this is what they're looking to do, or they want something produced in a certain way, and you must write as if you are the person producing that and you are addressing that the examiner is the company that you're producing the products for. The next thing you must do is make explicit and repeated references to the brief. The key way. An easy way to get full marks is always refer everything you're doing back to the brief. Okay, and that will get you top marks. So make sure you do that in all your answers. You must show a wide understanding of music genres and the topic by referencing examples. So it's up to you not to just use the examples I'm going to give you in class, but also to do your own research into this. The more you can talk about in the exam, the more examples you got, the higher your grade will be, because the examiner will think you've worked independently and award marks for this. Next thing, read the questions and make sure you understand what the examiner wants. Do not waffle about something which isn't relevant. Remember, the way the exam paper is structured is you get about 20 minutes for each question. It's worth about 15 marks each. Next thing, show originality in design. I'm going to talk to you a bit about this task a bit later on, but this is the easy bit to get the full 15 marks in, the design task. And when we get onto that later, I'll explain how you can get 15 marks. SPAG, spelling, punctuation and grammar. You must use it. It must be clear. It must be accurate. You get awarded marks for this. Apply your knowledge to the key concepts. Media language. Remember, this is how products are constructed. Institutions, who creates them. Audience, who therefore. Representations. You must show that you know about these. There's a question which focuses on each of these within the exam. Next point, show evidence of independent learning, independent research. You must research independently and show this, like I said previously. Use the media terminology that you've used. Make sure you've got tidy handwriting. Make sure that you've got relevant theories and debates. And finally, make sure you're prepared for the exam. Remember, when you come to the exam, I can't give you any pens, pencils, crayons, but you will need these for the design tasks to get the top marks. So it's your responsibility to bring them yourself. So, looking at the exam, the exam's an hour and a half long, and it's divided into four tasks. The first task is a knowledge and understanding task. The second task, task 2 to 4, is research, planning, and presentation. So you get the pre-release on the 7th. You're given 4 weeks to prepare for the exam and to research the various information that you need, and to decide what you're going to write about and to do your research tasks and things like that. But by that point, we will have covered most of the theory, but it's up to you then to apply it. So when we look at audiences, then you'll need to go and identify who is your audience, who are the demographics, who are the psychographics, etc., etc. When you get the brief, look for the production task in the brief, plan and respond to this. This is easy to get 15 marks. Number 2, write your in-role responses. So, find out who the target audience is, decide what you're going to do, plan your pitch, write your pitch, write a response, do anything that you need to do for all the various sections to make sure you're 100% prepared. Number 3, research the topic. Show that you know what you're talking about. Number 4, look at a wide range of examples. Don't look at the ones that, just the ones I'm going to give you, but look at all of them. When you get down to page 7 in your revision books, you'll find I've given you loads of websites that you can start to look at home. Right. When you're writing your answers, okay, you may ask you to do a few different things, but when you're doing your research, you're going to need to do an analysis. And an analysis means that you have to deconstruct the article, text, or piece that you're studying. So you're going to need to look at online magazines, music press, magazine covers, and you need to analyse these. You need to pick them apart and find out what the meaning is. And the meaning is all to do with how it works and how it communicates to the audience. How it tells the audience its ideas, its ideology. What does it tell us? How does it make us communicate and interact with that magazine? So when you do an analysis, you need to follow these steps, and this all forms part of your research. Start at the top of the image, article, piece, and work through it and work down the page. Make a brief description of each part of the text. Explain what it actually means. Explain the denotation and the connotations of the meanings. Use the right media language at all stages. Make sure you've got a range of texts and a wide range of responses by different audiences. Consider some of the reasons why the text is the way it is. You also might need to do an evaluation. So looking at the online music press website like Krang's website, look at their magazine and saying which one do you think is better? Evaluating their strengths and weaknesses. So, to do that, you'll need a balanced conclusion. You need to try and find an answer. You need to come up with some theories. Remember, you might not be able to evaluate everything, so don't worry too much about that. Just remember that the evaluation is so that you can look at what is good about one piece and what is bad about another. When you're doing research, don't just rely on Wikipedia, but instead use careful Google searches and use the correct phrases. So instead of putting in Krang, if you're looking for a front cover, and you type Kerrang front cover September 2012, and it will give you the details. Get info from a wide range of sources, and make sure you don't just look at fan sites, but look at info sites as well. Right. Outline and describe. In the exam, it might ask you to outline and describe something. This is not asking you to tell the examiner everything you know. It's asking you to find the relevant information and apply it to the particular answer. Therefore, you're being choosy and you're picking only the stuff that's going to fit. So make sure you show what you know, but keep it relevant within the question. The next thing, number 5, writing and role is key to getting a good mark. You must use the terms I or we, and you must refer to the examiner as in terms of it is your client. You must use the right business language and media terminology because it's part of the exam. Remember, it is about you. You are the person who has been given the brief. It's your responsibility to sell your ideas and what you think. Number 6, it might ask you to make a pitch. The likelihood is it will ask you to do a pitch for a new music magazine or a new music website. Therefore, you must know how to write a pitch. The first thing is you've got to be enthusiastic about your idea. What is your idea? What are you going to try and get across? How are you going to make sure it's the best? How are you going to sell it? The second thing, you need a good concept or unique selling point. Something which no other magazines or music websites of that genre do. Number 3, you use the conventions of the existing genre that you're being asked to create in, but you need to make sure you add a twist to it to make it original. Number 4, be able to describe exactly what your magazine or art or website is about. Number 5, be able to offer a way that the publication might be sold. How? Through stars, add-on merchandise sales, advertising, etc., etc. Number 6, use skilled language. And number 7, be confident about your idea and that it's the best, even though you might not think it is. Remember, who is it for? What is it? When is it being released? How are you addressing and connecting with the audience? What is its unique selling point? What's its style and its look? And what content will there be? Right, the next point. Planning for your production task. So, in the brief, it's going to give you some ideas about what the production task in the exam is. So therefore, you can plan and prepare for this to make sure that you are 100%, you can get the full 15 marks. You need to do this, you need to look at real examples and plan of these sort of magazines or websites and ensure that you understand the conventions. What needs to be in them. Once you've in that, you can then construct these pieces in advance. So you can make whatever it is in advance and make sure you know exactly what you're going to put in. For example, it could be one of the following. It could be a music magazine front cover, it could be an online music magazine homepage, it could be a YouTube channel and online advertising. You find these on page 13 and 14 in the revision guide. So you can, between now, as soon as the pre-release is released, you can look at that, you can do some research, you can make these 3 products, get me to look at them, we can talk about them, and we can see what's good and bad about them. That will guarantee you to get the full 15 marks. Now, I just want to go back to what I showed you a little bit earlier. So, I showed you the pre-release, so you'll get your pre-release, which looks like this, okay, telling us a bit, and you'll do some research for 3 or 4 weeks, and then when you get into the exam, you'll get a question paper, and on the question paper, you'll get something like 4 tasks. For this, the first one was use examples and programs drawn from your research, show how each of these qualities above has been used to appeal to an audience. Pretty easy. What have we seen which are storylines which are full of suspense? How do convincing characters appeal to the audience? How do realistic settings appeal to the audience? If you've done research into crime dramas, you can easily answer this. Okay, number 2, write a pitch for a crime drama, for a pilot episode of a crime drama, and make sure you include these things. design a homepage for the web page for your crime drama, and then finally suggest 3 other ways in which you can promote the crime drama. And at least one must make use of new and e-media. So this is sort of like a pitch, advantage and disadvantages of the other methods and way this can be created. And for your research, you should easily identify that. So that's what will happen. You'll get a pre-release and you'll get a paper. So that's the end of the first video. In the next video, I'm going to give you some information about the various things that we're going to be looking at in terms of codes and conventions and magazines and online publications.